there's some rumors circulating that Rick Tocchet is going to become the next head coach of the Vancouver Canucks, which, by the way, just shout out to Elias Pettersson for that shootout move to win tonight against Carolina. Wow. Unreal. Go look that up if you didn't get to see that. But it's just whether or not true, I don't know. But like, does it make sense? There's a couple things. The first being, if you're losing and you're already that close to the bottom, do you want to just lose out in one of the best drafts ever? Why change? Are you trying to win? It's not like they're a bubble team that is like, oh, maybe we need a change to push them all the way to the playoffs. That's number one. And then number two, when I think of Rick Tocchet, I think of OEL and Garland, and I just remember OEL and Rick Tocchet maybe not having the best awkward relationship. So yeah, just like a couple interesting things for me in that decision, but I don't like, again, who knows, but what do you think?
First of all, like what you brought up earlier, you're not making the playoffs. So in this draft, don't you just want to lose at this point? Keep Bruce Boudreau. How weird is it?
Make a change in the summer.
How weird is it for Bruce Boudreau to be listening to all this? There's a coach there right now. It's not an opening.
It's a human being.
But there's like,
too.
I mean, I'll be honest. I'm going to be on Vancouver radio in the morning because the text to me was with Rick Tocchet coming to Vancouver. I was like, whoa, hold up. It's not a done deal yet, but they're treating it like that. Bruce Boudreau's still behind the bench. It's really weird to be talking like that when you still have a coach who has a job. They won tonight. He's not going to be fired now. It's a bizarre situation.
It is so strange. And I'm going to step aside with some of my feelings on this because I know a lot of people involved in it. So I'm going to just, in generalities, when a coach is getting ready to be fired, I've talked about Bruce Boudreau being fired since the last day of last season.
Yep.
I said they need to make that change. I am surprised as hell he is sitting here at 40 games and he's still coaching. But this is a team that expected to make the playoffs this year or at least compete to be in the playoffs. They had no idea they were going to be this bad. Now, when you see how important Conor Bedard can be to your franchise, Craig, I don't know why. The best way to be bad is have a really horseshit, disruptive locker room. You lose when people aren't getting along, when you don't get along with the coach, the manager, the players, that kind of a toxic atmosphere, you can't win. They have that. That's what Vancouver has right now. It's a mess. Players are unhappy. OEL got benched, which caused problems. Pearson's injury is causing problems within the room. There's a clash between the coach and the players. If you want to lose, they have got the absolute perfect recipe because I think they're going to. What does that change do for them now? The reason they make that change is if you want to get ahead of this and you want to be a playoff team in 23-24, that doesn't happen overnight. That is a very long process. It is starting day by day at getting things differently. And I mean how you practice, how you prepare for that day, how you have your meetings, how the players relate to each other and to the coaching staff. All of those things can start more quickly if you make a coaching changes now. And believe me, if there is a coaching change in Vancouver now, there is going to be no bar on set on, well, he's got to go in there and win. There is absolutely, he doesn't have to go in there and win. So there's no pressure for him to go in there and win right now. There isn't. I think that makes it easier for everybody. And I think that gets some idea of what the plan is, what the systems are, what the future looks like going into that. And you know what else it does, Craig? Because free agents go, gosh, you know what? I've got perception of Coach B, and I've worked for Coach B. Yeah, I've played 30 games under him. You know what? Maybe he isn't what I thought he was. Maybe I want to stay. I think there is some merit to make that change.
It gives Rick Tocchet a chance to assess his personality.
100%.
Right? You get in there and you watch him play in NHL games. Flip side of this, you know, in terms of fixing culture or perceived bad culture, devil's advocate for a moment here.
Sure.
The team the Coyotes just played tonight, Rick Bowness. Winnipeg's culture was supposed to be horrible. That's what he'd heard going in. Oh, it's going to take a while to turn that around. Winnipeg's in first place in the division. Rick Bowness did it instantly.
He did. And make no mistake about it. That is absolutely due to Rick Bowness and what he did. And I'm sure he had management and ownership buy-in and support with taking the C away from Blake Wheeler. And that's 100% where it started, with him putting the hammer down, taking the C away, and it has changed that room immediately. Rick Bowness is a good man. He's a good coach. And I tell you what, he's good at communicating. So now if Rick Tocchet, by the way, Rick Tocchet has a job.
Yeah.
And I don't know if people remember that.
A really good
a
job.
very nice one where he
That
literally
pays him a lot of money to work one day a week.
Yeah.
And I know he's listening because he listens to us every day live. So he's
he
not.
does listen to us
sometimes, but he's not. But he has a job.
Rick flies really well too. Let's just get that out there
Yeah.
too.
So
It's a good setup, Rick.
Everybody's supposing something that has yet to happen because he's got a job.
Yeah.
But if he does go in there, now he's got an opportunity to just exactly what you said. Now you can start a new culture, and culture is such an overused word in sports.
Mm-hmm.
I hate the word culture because I've heard it, and this is a honest to God fact. I heard this year, and I'm going to piss some people off here. Every coach I've heard come in here, and I worked for a lot of them, they said, I've got to fix the culture.
Yeah.
And I'm talking every coach has said that.
It's
and
a cliche.
It's a cliche. I got to fix, like what Dave Tippett's culture. You got to change that. Went to the Western Finals. What's wrong with his culture? Oh, you got to change Rick Tocchet's culture. Like he's won Stanley Cups. Like what? Like pump the jets a little bit here on changing culture. You just do things differently. And the way you run an organization and a locker room is different than the coach before. It's not a culture. You think there's a coach in sports that wants to lose?
No.
Come on.
But which coach in any franchise has ever come in and not said, yeah, we need to establish a culture?
Come on. Any sport.
We need to establish my way of doing things. That's what that means. There's so many of those in sports. We can make a list.
But
we
that
can have
one
a whole
bothers me.
show, by the
That
way,
one bothers me.
of those cliches like, a players
Don't use
only
that.
meeting. They've called a players only
we should do
meeting.
that in the summer.
Most overrated thing around. Who
Yeah.
cares?
So don't
we should do a summer show
don't
on
get
that.
caught up on that on the culture
no,
thing.
I think this is like both sides of this argument are really interesting.
What I find, there's a couple other things I find interesting about this. You've talked about the relationships with some of the players that Rick Tocchet had here, and they are now there. That is going to be an interesting dynamic if he goes there
with OEL. Let's just talk about the elephant in the room. Yeah, their relationship was not good,
and that's going to be interesting.
Wasn't good
because OEL is getting benched now.
Yes.
So how does that change with a new coach? I don't know.
Especially a coach that he has this kind of history with.
So we'll see. I think if there is a coaching change, like to me, it's an all-star break change because it's an easy change to make and you have more time for a transition. But if it goes till the end of the year, it goes till the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce Boudreau has 0% chance of coaching this team next year. Like zero. His contract's up. There is no love lost. He is gone. And you've heard his comments. He wakes up every day surprised he's going to be there the next day. I just want to see if I'm going to be at work the next day. That's how I feel here some days and probably tomorrow.
I will say this about Bruce Boudreau from a media standpoint with quotes. He's money to cover. He's incredible.
Unreal.
Okay,
He's
I just want to
incredible.
say something. Fate versus Will just pointed this out. Like, PD, right next to your head, it says culture on the wall.
Culture.
Unbelievable.
I didn't even.
Did somebody point that
Yeah.
out?
Such a
Fate
sports
versus
As
cliche.
we're talking
So
about
true.
culture.
That's
true.
wild.
That is crazy.
I've like never noticed.
It's like
that
a Twilight Zone moment, and it has to be right by me.
Yeah. Anyway,
And I'll
interesting
end
sides.
it with Rick Tocchet still has a job, and the rumors are out there rampant across. But I've seen that before. I've seen it with other coaches, other names. It's absolutely going to happen, and then it doesn't happen. And if it does, I wish him the absolute best
friend
of
of the
luck.
show.
I like Rick Tocchet. I think he's a better X's and O's guy than people really give him credit for. He studies the game better than
He
people
does.
really know.
He really does put that time in.
Yes, he is a hockey guy. He's not people think he's a bear and a bull in a china shop. He is not. He is really good as X's and O's, and I think that's where he can help somebody. And people don't believe me when I say that, but he really does study the game, and X's and O's can help a team that doesn't play with a lot of structure. And Vancouver doesn't play with a lot of structure right now. He could help in that. Whether he does or not will be determined. And we wish him the best of luck.
Yeah,
if not,
absolutely.
we'll have him on the show one way or the other.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Exactly. Okay. Well,
I'm
that was
over.
good. That was a very good discussion about
And-
multiple sides.
It sucks from the staff point. I've been in the room when the coach gets fired, and it is you talk about everybody scared shitless in the room. From the players, am I going to lose my ice time? Am I still going to be on the power play? Do I like this guy? Am I not going to like this guy? Do I need to get out? Do I need to trade it? To every employee, what time is he going to make us come in the morning? How late are we going to have to stay? Are we expected to do this? What do we do on the road? Like, it is so. It changes everybody's life overnight, and especially for a guy in my job, by the way, the video guy, because we call the other video guys. So what's that guy like? Is he a lot of video? Stay away from video? Does he do his own video? Like, it is. People's lives change dramatically in this.